So, Joe Biden thinks it's okay for your 8-year-old to decide his or her gender. I don't have time to make this kind of stuff up. Let's talk about it.
The idea that an 8-year-old child or a 10-year-old child decides, I decided I want to be transgender. That's what I think I'd like to be. It'll make my life a lot easier. There should be zero discrimination. And what's happening is too many transgender women of color are being murdered. They're being murdered. I mean, I think it's up to now 17. Don't hold me to that number, but it's higher now.
Yeah.
And that's just this year. And so I promise you, there is no reason to suggest that there should be any right denied your daughter or daughters, whichever, one or two, your daughter, that your other daughter has a right to be and do. None, zero.
This is what you want me to vote for? It's bad enough he passed multiple crime bills that screwed black men like myself over, but you want me to vote for a guy that thinks it's okay for an 8-year-old to decide his or her gender. I know. Trump's a racist! But you want me to vote for a guy that thinks it's okay for an 8-year-old to decide his or her gender. Agenda, anybody? Y'all want me to vote for that guy? You want me to vote for a guy that thinks it's okay for an 8-year-old who's barely out of the womb to decide his or her gender? This is who y'all want me to vote for. For those of you who don't know, this took place during ABC Town Hall. And a black dude asked me an interesting question, and I'm gonna go on and play that clip for you right now.
From Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, progressive Democrat.
Don't jump, Cedric. You look like you're way up there.
I'll be okay. Thank you, George. And good evening, former Vice President Biden. Many people believe that the true swing demographic in this election will be black voters under the age of 30. Not because they'll be voting for Trump, but because they won't vote at all. I myself have had this exact same conflict. So my question for you then is, besides you ain't black, what do you have to say to young black voters who see voting for you as further participation in a system that continually fails to protect them?
Well, I say, first of all, as my buddy John Lewis said, it's a sacred opportunity and right to vote. You can make a difference. If young black women and men vote, you can determine the outcome of this election. Not a joke. You can do that. And the next question is, am I worthy of your vote? Can I earn your vote? And the answer is, there's two things I think that I care, and I've demonstrated I care about my whole career. One is, in addition to dealing with a criminal justice system to make it fair and make it more decent, we have to be able to put black Americans in a position to be able to gain wealth, generate wealth. And so you look at what that entails. It entails everything from early education. That's why I'm supporting making sure that we in Title I schools, as you know, schools with the least tax base to be able to support their schools. I increased the funding for them from 15 to $45 billion. That allows every teacher in that school to make up to $60,000. And the problem now is they're leaving the schools. They're not there. We're short about 1.5 million teachers, 1.25 million teachers. Number two, every 3 and 4 and 5-year-old will go to school, not daycare, school. And with all the great universities, including the one you've gone to, go to or went to, in fact, talks about in the last 8 years what's happened. What happens when you let them go to school, they make up rapidly whatever shortcoming they had in terms of their education prior to that. They have not heard as many words spoken, et cetera, et cetera. What happens is that the studies show that 58% will increase by 58% their chance of going all through 12 years of school and going through successfully. We'll also provide for the ability to bring in social workers and school psychologists. We have one school psychologist in America now for every 1,507 kids. It should be 1 to 500, not just in schools that are poor, but in all schools. Because we learned that, for example, drug abuse doesn't cause mental illness. Mental illness causes drug abuse, the failure to get hold of people and deal with their anxieties. In addition to that, I provide for $70 billion for HBCUs for them to be able to have the wherewithal to do what other universities can do because they don't have the kind of foundational support they need. And so that would allow them, for example, like we did in our administration, the president allowed me to go down and we awarded a cybersecurity laboratory ability to compete for cybersecurity.
Yeah, I cut that clip a little short. Let me translate to you what Joe Biden was basically telling that dude. Blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. But this is the guy goofy people want us to vote for. Want to shame black men into voting for. Want to shame Ice Cube into voting for. You know what they say about karma, and it's coming for some of y'all. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out. Blah 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 blah. Y'all done lost your mind if you think I'm voting for him. Yo, this is AB Media 83. If you like this content, support the channel, support your interests. Don't sit up here and be another statistic. Use your own gifts. Keep it grinding. Keep it pushing. Keep it moving. This is AB Media 83, and I'm out.